Hello everyone, this is Joe Harwood. I'm here interviewing Pac St. Clair, an old friend and the founder of Cobalt. I think this is going to be very interesting and hope we'll have a lot of fun. So we'll get started here. Pac, how are you doing?
Joe, we're doing great, and I thank you for this opportunity to kind of share with you what all went on last week in Washington, D.C., and the great opportunity that we had as a company to represent the state of Kansas. And more importantly, it felt like we were representing all of our wonderful associates and our great dealers that really make it all possible.
Pac, it's a great story. The founder of Cobalt Boats, founding year was in 1968, but in actuality, your starting in the recreation boating business kind of began with your childhood right here on Grand Lake,
Yeah,
didn't it?
I did, Joe. We, believe it or not, we used to run up and down Duck Creek with a 14-foot Lone Star aluminum boat with a 35-horse Evinrude, and we just thought we owned a lake. And spent a lot of years, hours, water skiing behind that boat right here on Duck Creek. And that was my first year here. I was 12 years old and just happened to be in 1952.
That was an early start. I arrived at Grand Lake in 1953.
All right.
And,
well, we've got similar paths, for sure.
And we had one of those aluminum boats as well. And then things transitioned, and you ended up founding Cobalt Boats in 1968.
That's right, Joe, we did. And I got out of the University of Kansas and spent a couple of years helping my dad, working for my dad in the lumber business. And always had an inkling to do something on my own. And about that time, there was a real fad of giant super slides being built. And I thought, well, that might be something that I could make and sell. And so we did a little research, and before long, we were in the giant slide business, and it was a good business for a few years, and we made these big slides. They were 40 feet high and 12 lanes wide, and we did all the fiberglass work, subcontracted all the metal work, but they turned out to be dangerous, and our insurance company did a pretty good job convincing us that we needed to find something else to do with fiberglass. And that was an easy decision for me. I thought, well, I know a lot about boats. I've been a boater most of my life. We'll make boats. And I did learn that it wasn't quite as easy as I thought. And we made every mistake in the book. And but thank the good Lord, we're here 52 years later, and have enjoyed some success, and enjoyed the years that we've had representing Kansas, representing our people, our 800 or so employees that we have in the Odyssey, and our 100 and some dealers.
Second there, you said 800 and some employees in the Odyssey, Kansas.
I think that's where we are today, Joe.
My goodness sakes alive.
Yeah.
Now, in 1968, how many employees were there then?
Well, darn few, because yours truly was rolling out fiberglass and doing a lot of stuff. Jill was doing some work in the garage. But you know, we started with a handful, and it's grown.
Now, I've heard the story, but in 1968, the type of boat you started building, that changed, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Because because when we started, you know, it really didn't, I'd learned what a mold was, but we found a company that had gone out of business in Dallas, Texas, built a boat called Timcraft. It was a small outboard boat, and I think it was a 16-foot outboard bow rider. And there was another company that made high-performance boats in Wichita that had gone out of business. And so we thought, well, we'll get in the race boat business too. And then also there was a new company started called Danza Marine. And we built some boats very similar to Danza Marine. And had one boat that we had really designed, and that was a 16-foot tri-hull. And that was our original line. Shortly became in the 18-foot tri-hull, so we had those. So we took that conglomeration of some race boats and performance boats and little outboard and a couple of stern drives to the first boat show in Chicago, the old MTech show, which you and I are very familiar with. And to say it was a disaster or an unsuccessful show would probably be an understatement, because we didn't sell a single boat. And so that was a long
I've
ride
been to
back.
boat shows like that.
That was a long ride back from Neodesha, because you know, we didn't have a lot of cash, and I did have a partner at that time. And before I hit the city limits of, at that time we were in Chanute, my partner had said, you know, I've had all the fun in the boat business that I want to have. And so I was able to get him bought out and was able to borrow $60,000 from the SBA, start all over again in Neodesha, Kansas. And that's when we moved 30 miles south to Neodesha. And the Standard Oil Company had moved from town, left the town, and had given some seed money to bring industry in, had given buildings, land. There was 400 acres that they owned there that they gave to the city of Neodesha to develop an industrial park. And we were one of the first ones there. Neodesha took a real risk on bringing us there, paid our moving expenses, helped us get started up, helped us get a line of credit with the SBA, got our first loan with the SBA. And the city really took a gamble on us. And that was 50-some years ago. And it worked out good for the city, and it's certainly good for us as well.